and welcome to our homestead. For those of you who are new here, welcome. I know we got a lot of new subscribers lately, and I hope you guys are enjoying our videos. Well, today it's supposed to rain later on this afternoon, but I'm gonna take this opportunity. I have a lot of garden work to do. So the first priority is to get my tomatoes up on the trellises. During the storm, we had some issues with a bunch of our tomatoes falling over because we hadn't got our trellising in yet. But me and Eric had worked on that. So we're gonna head over into the garden and I will give you a look at what we have going on. Alright, so here we are. We have T-post and we have welded wire fencing that we use as trellising. This seems to work pretty well. We used it last year. It does seem kind of flimsy, but we also have a way of tightening it up and making it a little stronger. So for now, I'm going to get these tomatoes on the fencing, which we call trellising. And what we found is that the clips that you use for the T-post to attach the welded wire fencing work really great on hooking up the tomatoes to the trellis. I'll give you guys a look at that. I have my bucket down here. So these clips right here, let me take you guys so that you can see. I have my tomato down here, and all we're going to do is wrap it around the tomato and hook it on to the fence. And that gets the tomato off the ground and starting to climb up the fence. So I am just gonna get going, I am just gonna get going on that. And I will have you guys set up and you can come along with me. All right, guys, one row down, one more to go until next weekend when Eric gets back so that we can put in more trellising. Right now, a bunch of our tomatoes are still pretty small in the other rows, but these are the first priority. So let's get the other row going and then move on for the day. Alright, so now that the tomatoes are up and pretty sturdy, I need to move on to the rest of the rows that I didn't get to finish weeding the other day. So I'm going to start working right here in my pepper row, right next to my tomatoes, and hopefully I can get the rest of the garden weeded out today because I'd like to replant some squash and zucchini. Some of our squash and zucchini seeds didn't germinate, So I want to fill in those holes. And also I'd like to thank David Moffett. He sent to us some squash and zucchini seeds, and I'll show you those when I get to it today. But thank you so much, Dave. That was so nice of you, and we really appreciate it. I have finally made it back over to the other side of the garden. I finished weeding all of the peppers that we have in net right now and the cucumber rows, and finally made it over to the squash and zucchini. So it's really getting hot out here, and I know it's still early in the morning, but the sun is really hot. So I'm gonna take a little bit of a break, go get a drink, check on the dogs, make sure that everything's all set, and then I'll meet you back here. All right, now that I am rehydrated and a little bit cooler, back out in the garden, and I have my seeds ready. The dogs are doing fine. I did check on them, and Bailey, where are you, Bailey? He decided to join me. All right, so I told you guys that I would let you know what seeds that I have. And again, one of our faithful subscribers, Dave Moffett, has sent us some squash seeds. And the variety of seeds that I do have here are squash, black beauty zucchini, and the other is a golden zucchini. Now, we've never done golden zucchini before, but I know a bunch of people who have, so I'm hoping that we get a pretty good harvest out of these. Now, these seeds came from Dollar Seed, and I believe that Dave, by checking it out, is the owner and CEO of this company, Dollar Seed. I looked at it, and he has a bunch of seeds on there at pretty reasonable prices. So we will leave a link down below so you guys can go check that out. Also, Dave sent me his business card and midline graphics. He has some cool stuff on there. He does some laser engraving, and you guys should go check that out. And also check out his YouTube page, Dave Moffett at YouTube, and show him some love. All right, thanks again, David Moffett. All right, I am going to start looking at the zucchini and squash and see where I need to plop in these seeds. Guys, now that I've gotten all my seeds planted and most of my rows weeded out, there's a bunch of other stuff in this garden that I need to work on this week, but we'll get to it. I'll be bringing you along tomorrow too, but one of the last things that I wanted to show you was that our garlic, when I was weeding the other day, and I think I put that in the video, the last video, they had fallen over from all the rain and the winds that we had gotten. So I see that there are some that are pretty brown, and I dug up some and I put them on the dry rack, and I'll go show you guys that, but I just wanted to show you some of the ones that I can dig up out here to show you what they look like. All right, so if you look at this one has completely bent over, and the stalk is pretty brown and not really much recovering. Now, this is the first row that we planted. So my biggest concern was that the garlic wasn't going to be big enough, and the garlic was going to rot in the ground if we just left it there. So because this is our first row that we planted, it's supposed to be ready sometime around the end of June. They say about 100 days. So although this garlic is not as big as the garlic that I would like it to be, take a look at this. It doesn't look bad. So let me knock some of this dirt off of here. So that's a pretty good size bulb comparatively. So I have my drying rack on the inside of our farm stand building, and I'm gonna bring you in there and show you what I have going on. Alright, so inside this room there are 2 racks that I was using to start seeds. Now keep in mind, I have not taken the lights down yet, so we're just working around it right now. And then we'll go from there. But these shelves have spaces in them, and they're easy to hang the garlic upside down and let it dry. So this is what I have going on right now. So not bad. There's a couple of smaller ones I put off to the side here because they would fall through. But see, this is a pretty good size bulb. Not bad. Some of these are a little bit smaller. That one's not bad. But I think if I let them dry out, we'll have some pretty nice garlic that we can use for ourselves and also dry. I'll keep the smaller ones, and even if I keep those for seed for next year, it'll still all work out. But I'm pretty happy with the size of some of the bulbs that we have. Even though I harvested them a little bit early, I wanted to see if they were rotting, and they don't seem to be rotting. So I'm gonna wait until the end of June and see what we have. Alright guys, I am going to end my day here. I will see you tomorrow morning. Bye guys.
Up in our
little baby.
Karma keeps me cautious.
There's one baby.
And bourbon keeps me brave.
Oh, you're so cute.
And just a little too honest to believe that I am safe.
Hi, girly.
But I am still new at getting old. Pay these dues and wear down breaking is easy.
Good morning, guys, and welcome back. It is another day and I am back in the garden. I do have a bunch of projects that I want to get done today in here, but it looks like it's a pretty overcast day today, so hopefully the rain will hold off. I know they said this afternoon we're gonna get rain. So last night it only sprinkled. We didn't get a heavy downpour like they said, but hopefully I'll be able to get a bunch done and move on with my day. I do have a bunch of domestics I can do while it's raining, so that'll be good. But today, out here in the garden, I have some cabbage and broccoli that needs to get pulled out. This is the second year in a row that we haven't really had a lot of luck in the early spring with our crops growing. It seems the cabbage worms have already found them and they really haven't produced anything. So I'm gonna pull those out and probably just feed them to the chickens. And then this is the top row, and I'll show you guys in a minute. The top part of our rows that we haven't replanted yet. So once I pull those out, I'll be planting more tomatoes, more peppers, more squash and zucchini, so it'll take up the whole row. All right, I have my gorilla cart behind me, so I'm gonna get going with that, and I'll set you guys up and take you along.
On my own, but I don't know why you hit the road, but you don't realize I won't look back when you're around. I won't think twice when you're gone. Don't hesitate to call me back, 'cause I won't be there. I won't look back when you're around. I won't think twice when you're gone. Don't hesitate to call me back, 'cause I won't be there. I won't look back. I don't know why she told me it's not your fault, but you don't realize that
All right, so yes, there is a significant amount of damage to these plants, but there are some that I could salvage that are kind of small. So let's take a look. This one right here, I'll have to go through it. And then this head right here, they are small, but I could potentially harvest those and see what we have, making sure there's no bugs in them, of course. But I think that I can salvage at least 4 or 5 of them, so it'll give us some cabbage. Maybe not for sale, but at least we'll be able to get some. And then in the fall, I'm gonna try again. So cabbage, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, maybe even cauliflower, we'll see. But I'm gonna go dump this and I'll be back out in the garden and be right with you. guys, so I was able to clear out 8 of our top rows, and they're pretty much ready for new plants to go in. So it wasn't a total loss. I did get some small cabbage heads. The red cabbage, it didn't seem to form at all, so I didn't get any of those. The broccoli, it looked like it was starting to form, but there was a lot of bug damage, and we're ready to put other crops in, so we had to pull it. But our girls are eating like queens, so they're enjoying that. When I pulled the broccoli, most of it wasn't even forming a head yet, but I did find one small little head. So it was getting ready to produce, but I couldn't wait long enough. So maybe this is a lesson for us. Next year we'll try to get those cold crops in a little bit earlier. Like I said, we are gonna try in the fall again and see what happens. Maybe we'll have better luck then, because I really want to preserve some broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, some cabbage, and have that. So I am going to move on. There's a couple of mustard green rows and a couple of head lettuce rows that I do need to pull out. Now, they have gone to seed, most of them, but I've also been cutting off of them and taking all of that to market. So I have been selling a lot of lettuce and mustard greens at the market, which has been really great this year. So I'm gonna get to that, and then once I get all that out, then I'm gonna look at what I have for plants to go into the tops of these rows. All right, so that wasn't that bad. Pretty quick and easy. I did leave one of my mustard greens in the ground because it has a lot of flowers on it, and I want it to fully go to seed so that I can collect the mustard seed from it. So take a look. When I'm canning and preserving, I use a lot of mustard seed. So it's nice to have your own instead of always buying it from the store. All right, guys, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go take a break, check on the dogs again because they didn't want to come out this morning. They went back in again.